The immense popularity of this event was evident this year as we had to turn away over 8,000 runners in our 10-mile lottery, and the 5K filled up in just 3 weeks. All of this would not be possible without the support of the Credit Union Miracle Day, their lead partners True Stage and Valera, and over 70 supporting credit unions. I'd like to take a moment and have all of our credit union representatives please rise so all of us can express our appreciation. At this time, I would like to bring up to the stage John Bratsakis, Race Chair of Credit Union Miracle Day and CEO of the Maryland, D.C. Credit Union Association, who will fill us in on what is one of the most satisfying aspects of the race. The funds raised by both Credit Union Miracle Day and the race participants for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. John?
Thank you, Phil, and thank you all. I know it's getting late, but I just wanted to recognize our board who is just standing for all the incredible work they do at Credit Union Miracle Day. And I also want to thank all of the credit unions. One of the things that's unique about the race is that not only do we impact locally, our children's hospitals locally, but we also are able to help support the 170 children's hospitals that are connected through Children's Miracle Network. To put that in perspective, here in DC, Children's National Hospital sees over 250,000 children a year go through the hospital. Think about that. But what's even more remarkable is that 72 children are admitted and seen at a children's hospital every minute of the year. That over 12 million children are seen and helped at Children's Miracle Network hospitals throughout the country. And it's because of your support and because of the support of the runners. This year I think we had a record correctly of $190,000 were raised by runners to help us raise our money this year. So thank you all. What I want to also do is I want to thank, I'm looking at someone, Lee Phil-Bogian is our Executive Director of Credit Union Miracle Day, who without her tireless work and working with Phil and their tireless work, we couldn't do what we do. So hold on, I think we're going to do the video first. So we weren't able to have a patient family, but I think what helps bring it home in this is when you get to see the impact that the fundraising that you have has on a children's family and a champion. So if you want to roll the video.
I remember getting the phone call from the pediatrician and thinking, how am I going to tell my husband that this is our fate?
So to put that in context, at Children's National, they have 658,000 outpatient visits, over 19,600 surgeries a year, 138,000 diagnostic imaging is done, and over 1,300,000 lab tests are done. So when you think about the impact, not just on the 170,000 or 170 hospitals, but this race, thanks to you, we're able to contribute because all the money goes back to the local hospitals. Money from this race goes to every single hospital throughout the country because it goes back to where it's raised from. So if you're a runner and you clicked donate, that money is going back to your local hospital. So thank you for that. Thank you for the impact. And since 2002, we're going to unveil the amount right now. But this amount will push us over $12 million to Children's Miracle Network since 2002. This year we were able to raise $460,000. Thank you. couldn't do it without you.
This is our 11th year of awarding our Outstanding Volunteer Award, named after Les Kenyon. Les managed our t-shirt operation for over 30 years. Besides coordinating the purchase of the shirts, Les spent countless hours boxing, shipping, and delivering the shirts to the race committee, participants, and volunteers. I think if there's one person in this room who has respect for what that involves, it is Shannon Ross. Because she did it this year. Simply put, there was nothing that Les wouldn't do in order to ensure the smooth operation of any aspect of the race. Besides his work with us, Les was one of the founders of the Baltimore Roadrunners Club and director of the Maryland Marathon, which I believe Bill Rogers won once, at least, in the 1970s. Les died from a heart attack in July 2014. And at this time, there was no better person to call up to announce this year's winner of our Outstanding Volunteer Award than our volunteer coordinator, Nita Ronconi.
I might be biased, but I think the race is only as good as its volunteers. Lucky for us, we have some of the best volunteers in the running community. The award we're presenting tonight, the Les Kenyon Award for Outstanding Volunteers, honors the great Les Kenyon. As Bill mentioned, Les was the best. He was hardworking, always willing to do whatever needed to be done to help the race, and he always did it with a smile. And when he was done, he always said, "What's next?" Les was one of my early mentors when I began volunteering here, and I'm honored to be here to present this award. The award recognizes our outstanding volunteer. The nominations we receive are numerous, and you can imagine that out of over 2,000 people, it's hard to pick just one person. Otherwise, almost everyone in this room would be a recipient for the award, and we would have to recognize everyone here who's worked hard to make this race the premier race in the country. I'd like to take a moment. If you have received the Les Kenyon Award, would you please stand to be recognized? Today's award recipient of the Les Kenyon Award has served many years in many positions and has had a direct effect in making the Credit Union Cherry Blossom event the extremely high-quality event and successful event it has become. Her contributions have been many and varied, including serving as race announcer at both the expo and the race site. She has also been incredibly effective as the co-race director of the Kids Run in the past few years. She has brought her vast experience with the event to contribute very meaningfully and with honor to deliberations of policy as a member of the Credit Union Cherry Blossom Incorporated Board of Directors. She has patience like I've never seen before, and I have yet to see you get flustered. I'm honored and humbled tonight to present this award to you, Carrie. Carrie, Carrie, if you want, you are joining a group of award winners who represent what this race means to the community. You are hardworking, you're kind, you're loyal, and you are so giving. Thank you on behalf of all of Cherry Blossom and all of the volunteers who make this event a success. You are a role model for all of us.
After talking for the last 2 days, I don't have much of a voice left, as you can probably tell, and I need some for tomorrow too. But I just want to say thanks. I mean, this is an honor. I really, really, really appreciate, and I love working with everybody here, and look forward to lots more years together. Thank you.
This is the third year we will be inaugurating new members into the Cherry Blossom Hall of Fame as a way to recognize individuals who have made significant impacts on the race since 1973 in roles other than serving as volunteers. These could include record-setting runners, sponsorship heroes, long-serving staff members, and simply others who in various capacities have made this event better. But we want to give you one warning before we announce this year's winner. They will be joining a club of which Bill Brooks is already a member. Okay, at this time I would like to bring up Cherry Blossom Inc. President Jean Arthur to announce this year's class.
Thank you, Phil. As Phil said, this is our third year of doing the Hall of Fame. And one of the things he didn't say about the Hall of Fame is we have people on the Hall of Fame who've contributed just tremendously to this race for the last 52 years, like Phil right here. And we also have other people who joined a little later and who are not, I wouldn't say they're well-known runners, and that I'm talking about Bill, this Bill right here, who came into this race through the credit union and decided this is a good place to be and has contributed so much, and now he's in the Hall of Fame. Tonight's winners or inductees rather, one of them is a runner, and actually they're both runners, but one you recognize as a world-class runner, the other one has just contributed so much to this race. Okay, so let's get started. Bill, can you come up closer? Our first inductee is the only four-time winner of the race, earning consecutive titles between 1977 and 1981. He also set the men's 45 to 49 age group title 20 years later in 1999. He has completed the race 21 times, and besides his 4 overall wins, he has won his age group 7 times. His 4 titles at Cherry Blossom mirror his 4 titles winning the New York Marathon and the Boston Marathon. So you've heard a little bit about his running prowess. Bill Brooks, my frenemy, is going to give you a little bit more personal view of Bill Rogers.
When I first started talking with Phil about being the title sponsor of the Cherry Blossom, Phil kept talking about the relationship that the race had with Bill Rogers. I didn't want to hurt Phil's feelings, but I had no clue who Bill Rogers was. I have come, and I've known it. It's been just a great adventure and a wonderful relationship that my wife and I have had with Bill Rogers over these years. He's fantastic. I can only tell you that the mark of a true champion is how he treats other people. And I've had the privilege of escorting Bill around many different venues in the Cherry Blossom 10-mile run, and he is simply amazing that how we communicate with somebody who stood in line for over an hour to get an autograph and talk to Bill Rogers. at first I was sitting back there going, you know, you just sign the autograph and this line would move, you know? Almost going to keep the line moving, you know, type thing. I came to realize that Bill wasn't signing autographs. He was visiting with friends and the people that he loved. I've seen him, escorted him around, and he would always tell people, run for the love of it. And when somebody would come up and they would be talking to Bill, Bill, you guys have to change your names. He would listen to their story about how they haven't been really loyal to their training regime, and he would look up them and forgive them very gently and say, just get back out there and do it. Run for the love of it. And, you know, it was amazing. I was going, oh, yes, Bill, I'll get right back out there. I've escorted him around the town. And, you know, escorting Bill is a trip because somebody comes up and talks to him in the middle of the street. He's going to talk to him and he engages with them. I've actually honestly seen Bill hand out money to panhandlers through Washington, D.C. as I walked him back to the hotel. One time I made the mistake of suggesting to Bill that, Bill, these guys really aren't that needy. He looked up at me and he says, I had a great day today. I sold some books. These people need it more than me. I was humbled, believe me, because I don't have that number of human kindness. I just really, I don't know how to tell you what kind of wonderful relationship that Nancy and I have had with you over the years, but it's been fantastic, Bill. You're a remarkable person, and I'm proud to second the nomination of you to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'd like to also note that this is the first thing that I ever beat you at. I sit at awe with what kind of champion this man is. His simple humanity is just amazing. Bill, congratulations, you deserve it.
Extremely well run. You know, this and the Lynchburg 10 miler are the two best 10-mile races in the country, probably, for consistency and quality of race control, that sort of thing.
5 yards behind them, Dan Rincon. Stick it up, a little bit more, one of the outside. Bill Rogers in the lead, 23:42. In the same pack, second neck really is Mike Slack, John DeBoer, Greg President, and Andy Palmer.
So as you can see, Bill Rogers is not only a good runner, but he's a good runner, but as you heard, he's also a very nice person. Our second inductee, neither her or her family could be here tonight, so somebody else, Jeff Darman, is going to, no, you don't have to give it back. He's going to accept the award in her name. I'm just going to tell you she is because she's not here. The second inductee is Anna Berdahl. And if you're like me and you joined the racing scene around here in the 1980s, you remember the Cherry Blossom was the race that you had to get in, and particularly since in the early days it was actually free. But you had to enter this lottery, and you had to send a check, you had to send a SACI. Does anybody remember what that is? Self-addressed stamped envelope. And so it was so nerve-wracking because I really want to do this race. Who would think who would be so excited to torture themselves for 10 miles? But anyway, everybody wanted to do it, including me, and I sent my check and my SACI in, and I got in my very first time. I didn't get in a second time, though, but that actually got me to start volunteering. What I didn't realize was how people were selected. I've since learned that Anna would get all these envelopes with your check and your registration form and your SAISI, and she spread them out on the floor, and I guess she had some kind of system by which she picked who got in the race. Fortunately, given now that we have like 30-some thousand entrants, right? People who try to get in. It's a good thing it's not computerized. So once it became computerized, Anna no longer needed to do all of that, taking up all her floor space. And she contributed to the race in many other ways. For a while, she was in charge of the seated runners, and then for a while, she was in charge of ordering all the t-shirts. Then in 1996, she started the Kids Run, and you know, we had the Kids Run this morning. I suspect there are people who ran the Kids Run back then who are probably now running the 10-mile run. So she was instrumental in getting people started in something separate from Cherry Blossom. Anna Berdahl also started a Kids Run with the Montgomery County Roadrunners Club, in which a lot of schools in Montgomery County would compete against each other, meaning to see who could get the most kids to come out to do the run. We called it the Halloween Fun Run. So, as you can, by the way, she headed the Kids Run from 1996 to 2014, and then in 2015 and 16, she helped with the 5K. As you can see, she has a long history with the Cherry Blossom race. She went from getting so many of us, including me, to run the race our first time by selecting us, and then she started the kids race, which hopefully started some people into a good journey of being a runner. So, because of all that, Anna Berdahl is being inducted into the Cherry Blossom Hall of Fame, and Jeff Dorman is going to accept the award for her since she's not able to be here tonight.
I'm honored to accept on behalf of Anna, and Jean was very eloquent on all the things about Anna, but there's one more thing that you need to know about Anna. A lot of you don't know that for many years, Phil and I shared office space in Arlington in a couple of different offices. Phil and I are great friends, but we're also the odd couple. And so there were times when I wanted to strangle him and he wanted to strangle me. And Anna was our assistant for many years. And Anna would come in and just very sternly look at us and with her great English accent, just bring down the heat and make everything fine again with humor, and everything was good. And so for Anna, I want to thank her for everything she did for us, for Phil, and for Cherry Blossom, and for the whole sport, because I didn't kill him, you know.
And I'm glad too.
But anyhow, it's an honor. Anna is a wonderful person, and we honor her tonight. Thank you.
We have prided ourselves over the years with an outstanding group of elite athletes. This year, for the second straight year, and for the fourth time ever, we're hosting the USA National 10-Mile Championship for men and women, which always produces a stellar field of Americans to mix it up with our traditional cast of international stars in pursuit of over $80,000 in prize money in the Washington area's only truly elite road race. However, one thing that we have learned over the years is that most of the elites have a tendency to eat and run to bed. So this year we have provided on your tables, you will find some sheets with our selections as they are predictions of the top 10 male and female entrants. And of course, you'll be able to see how our predictions hold up by around 8:10 tomorrow morning. Since we are hosting the championship, I would like to recognize 3 USATF officials who have worked closely with us on the championship and to whom we are greatly appreciative of the confidence placed in our event. We have here tonight the men's long distance running chair, Connor Nickel. He may have gone bad for the runners. And we have women's LDR chair, Kim Conley. And Amy Begley, a former U.S. Olympian who is now the director of USATF's long-distance running program. So it has been a pleasure working with this group. Elite athletes are traditionally thought of those who run fast. But in my mind, anyone who accomplishes an extraordinary athletic feat is an elite athlete. So there is one elite athlete I would like to recognize, not because you will see him in the front of the pack, but because he has always been in the pack. Although he once placed fourth in his age group with a time of 53:16, and of course that runner I want to recognize is our only runner who has run this race every year since 1973. This guy has perfect attendance, and each year, in honor of that, we give him the bib number with the number of years that he's completed the race. Let's welcome back Ben Beach. And we couldn't pull this event off without an outstanding group of... A little tight after today. An outstanding group of sponsors. Of course, Credit Union Miracle Day has been the title sponsor since 2002, along with lead partners Valera and TrueStage. Our presenting sponsors include ASICS, our shoe and apparel sponsor and presenting sponsor of today's 5K, and we're pleased to have the president of ASICS North America here with us tonight, Mr. Koichiro Kodami. Joining us this year for the first time as the presenting sponsor of today's Kids Run was Amazon. Our thanks to them. And coming back as the presenting sponsor of the Health and Fitness Expo is Wegmans. And of course, for the second year in a row, we are deeply grateful to Metro. They will be opening the system at 2 hours early. Ordinarily, they don't open until 7 a.m. on Sunday morning. They're pushing that back to 5. They're doing that for us at no charge. And what I can tell you is that the normal charge would be in 6 figures. So 2 hours of Metro opening for free is a $200,000 sponsorship. And this year we established a special relationship with the Embassy of Japan, and they have brought over to compete in our race 2 elite athletes from Japan. We print more than 30,000 t-shirts for this event, just ask Shannon. And we couldn't have done it without the support of United Lifestyle Brands. Other supporting sponsors who contribute significantly to the event include Outside Finisher Kicks, Potomac River Running, Gatorade, Select Events, and Suburban Solutions. And let me tell you a little story about Suburban Solutions, actually. Our t-shirts were en route from the factory where they are printed. Actually, this is the United Lifestyle Brands factory in Southern Virginia. They were 2 blocks from the expo, and the truck broke down. They'd driven over 100 miles, last 2 miles, truck broke down. Just so happened that the Suburban Solutions guys were unloading other material for the expo, and they fired up their trucks, went over, offloaded 30,000 shirts from the t-shirt people, loaded them on their trucks, and really saved the day. One of the things about this dinner is it truly is a gathering of industry notables. I'd like to recognize a few of them here. 3 years ago, we entered a partnership with an organization called Game Changers. Game Changers is a program designed to increase the number of minority coaches in the road running community. And I'd like to recognize the president of that organization, Vanessa Peralta Mitchell, and if her coaches can also rise and wave to the crowd so they know who you are. And going all the way back to our first edition in 1973, we've always enjoyed a close relationship with the Roadrunners Club of America, this country's largest organization of grassroots running clubs. Each year we provide funding for the RRCA's Run Pro Camper program, which provides a retreat for just graduating collegiate runners to explore their futures as professional runners. Representing the RRCA here tonight, we're pleased to have RRCA CEO Gene Knack. And also, we're very pleased to announce that the RRCA, in all of its wisdom, has selected, will be holding its convention next year in Washington, D.C. in conjunction with the Credit Union Cherry Blossom. Credit Union Cherry Blossom is a member of the Pro Circuit, and Pro Circuit is a five-race series called America's Classic Road Races. We're pleased to have one of our fellow pro race directors with us here tonight, Jim Stasitis. And Jim is the race director of the Boilermaker 15K, and he will be hosting the Pro Championship this July. And as my tradition, I would like to close with some special thank yous. First, to the chair of the Credit Union of the Cherry Blossom Board of Directors, Jean Arthur, and the entire board. Also, my deep thanks go out to a deputy race director. Does she really need any introduction? Nah, everybody. And in just her second year working on this race, and she has made a huge difference. She keeps things moving efficiently. Again, she handled all the t-shirts. She handled something called the packet mailouts, which I won't even bother to tell you about because we don't want to encourage anybody to do it. But we're very pleased to have with us for the second year our programs director, Shannon Ross. Organizing committee. Will you all rise if you are a member of the race organizing committee? Please rise. And all I can say is what a journey it has been. You are simply the best at what you do. And so, at this point, there is nothing left to do except catching our breath after conducting this morning's 5K presented by ASICS and Kids Run presented by Amazon. We'll go and grab a few hours sleep. And out there they are cleaning up the Washington Monument grounds from, in case you don't know, that we had about 20,000 protesters. Not protesters, but it was an old style march here, I guess, on the Washington Monument grounds. So we are looking forward to bringing 19,000 runners tomorrow to the best 10-mile race in the country. So each of us, in our own way, that includes you, Stumpy, let's go forth and celebrate the runner's rite of spring in the nation's capital. Thank you.